said is going to be our high today. I dispute that, I really do. I'm thinking 20 degrees, but having said that, a little bit of moisture in the air, a little bit of cloud. I'm kind of worried about that, but I'm sure it'll burn off. Still plenty of day to go. Coming into a brand new weekend as well. Friday, September 18th, and I am absolutely elated to have Mirror Point join me, but hold on, let's do this first.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm and joined live today, and believe me, it is an absolute pleasure to have these good old boys coming out of North Carolina. They really are. It's Mirror Point. You know Mirror Point. They've been the feature artists of the morning. This is, was this, you're right here at Galaxy. Let's figure that one out.
There's something about you and I that just won't let me go.
Ah, dear, dear. How you feeling, guys? You all right?
Good.
Nice, nice. And look at that. You're familiar with Darth Vader, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're familiar with that lightsaber thing he's got?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Barbara and... It's a hard hat area. Honestly, you got to duck. You got to move really quickly. Otherwise, you never know what might... You might lose a toe.
There you go.
You might. Guys, it is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. And for everybody that's joining us live on Facebook Live right now, maybe later on YouTube, don't forget on YouTube, don't forget to do it. You know what, yeah, you know, sub, thumb, bell, bingo, got it. Anyway, and of course we'll give you notifications with the bell, we will. Today we're joined by Mirror Point, and believe me, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to Mark Killen and also Travis. I really want to say, because we know you as Wayne, I'm sorry Travis, but Travis Jones is joining us both, aka Mirror Point. And thank you for joining us, guys. We've kicked off the show with this, is this, was this, and we're going to have a chat about that as we come back into it. Also, I've got a fan question that's come up that I was told about as we were introducing you, which is basically how we can get hold of you. So we'll have a chat about that as well. Okay, guys?
All right, sounds good.
You guys got a stiff drink?
I do.
You do? Mark, have you got a stiff drink? Mark?
Get one.
Yeah, go. If it comes in glass and out of the freezer, I understand.
Yeah.
But you guys might need one by the end of this. This is not going to be like the usual 12 questions you get from the average government radio stations. Let's put it that way.
I've got 10 gallons of beer sitting right behind me that I'm setting up for Mark's kegerator. I'm also a home brewer, so in my house right now I have somewhere around 45 gallons of beer.
Not only are you my hero, you're my new best friend.
What's the postage on that?
Hang out with it.
Yeah, what's the postage on that? Believe me. So let's go live to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 14 after 11 o'clock. It is 16 degrees, scarily. That's what the weatherman said it was going to be today, and I'm kind of worried about that because I think it's going to do a little better. Even though it's been a little bit of moisture in the air, a little cloudy, gloomy, unicey, but it's going to come very very shortly. Have faith. Believe me, 20 degrees. It's going to happen. Coming into a brand spanking new weekend, and it's Friday, September 18th. Joined live, coming out of North Carolina. Absolutely stunning, stunning band, and believe me, I absolutely love this band. Finding it very hard to get through a breakfast show without playing one Mirror Point song at least. Is Mark Killen and, of course, Travis Jones. Welcome, guys. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Now, we kicked the show off with, was this love? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's just one of those songs we put together. We kind of started it with a bass line. Travis was messing around with a little Latin feeling bass line, and I had an idea. I wanted to do a song about past relationships and how sometimes, actually, social media. We did quite a bit on this first record we had with social media as a theme, and a lot of people I know wound up encountering or bumping into people they knew years ago, maybe in high school or whatever, through social media. And sometimes things kind of lead you astray. Sometimes they don't. So we kind of shot the video that way as well. And that was kind of the idea behind the song. And since Travis had started the bass line with that Latin feel, we just decided to kind of roll with that. And I did some flamenco guitar, and we put some, some timbales and congas in there and all sorts of stuff. You know,
it's weird, actually, that you would say something about the social media and people and past loves, everything like that. I got to let you know, not so long ago, a young lady that I actually went to school with in the very first year of my school, wouldn't remember that year if you paid me, got in touch with my people and went, you know, I went to school with that guy. Now she's one of our biggest fans. I've got to thank Marion for being a part of it. But that's weird, because believe me, back in those days, I wouldn't have a clue who the heck I went to school with, to be honest with you. I don't even remember what the teachers looked like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I worked for a guy who really, for a few years ago, he was constantly just telling these stories, and I just thought it was interesting and a little strange, because it's like, you know, it just seemed like a strange thing to do, but it became a real phenomenon. I mean, people were constantly, reconnecting with, former lovers or whatever through, social media, and, sometimes maybe it plays out well for you, sometimes maybe not so well, but...
Well, I got to be honest with you, about a week ago, because every morning we have one of these stupid question things, you know what I mean? And it was basically, do you sleep with your phone?
Okay.
98% of the women said, absolutely, I sleep with my phone, I fall asleep with it while I'm talking. You know what? The rest of the males said, yeah, she does too.
Nice.
It's true. It really is. Now, having said that, and being on the social media thing, and it is a fan question, is, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, guys, do you respond?
Go ahead, Travis.
So one of the things that we have is our website. It's www.mirrorpoint.net. And from that, you can find all of our social media pages, and we are very responsive to messages. If you comment, we're going to reply. If you send us a message, we're going to reply. If you email us or put your email address in, you're going to get information about the band. We are a two-man project, and that doesn't just end at the music. We go from mixing, mastering, producing, promoting, communicating, merchandise, everything, as just the two of us. So you're going to hear back from us if you reach out.
That's really cool, Mark. But really, you shouldn't have said that, because, well, now you're going to get another 5,000 Facebook fans.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We definitely put a lot on Facebook. That's starting to be kind of picking up for us, but we're on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. We're probably most active, I guess, on Facebook, but you can find all of it at mirrorpoint.net.
Nice. Now, at the same time, do you have a merch store on your website?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, now you're going to make a sale or two as well.
Some shirts that actually Travis's wife designed and made, and then we also have the CD on there for some of us older folks that will still like digital, something to actually play, if your car will play it.
Yeah, well, you know something? Mine doesn't anymore, which is really a shame because well, let's go back a bit further. I'm a vinyl kind of guy, to be honest with you. I was brought up in the area, you know, the one with the big old hole in the centre that looked like it came out of a jukebox, for instance.
38.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Believe me. So I go right on back in the day. Been an engineer for about 30 something years now, been doing radio for, well, a few more years over that, and at the same time have toured around, not only have done studio work, but toured around with a number of very big bands. Some of them only had about 4 letters in their name, to be honest with you, and some of them came out of, well, actually a couple with 4 letters came out of Australia, of all places. You might be able to get the idea, but yeah, I've worked very, very extensively with some of the biggest bands in the world, and here in New Zealand, as the bands come in, I engineer for them. Now, having said that, Mark, you do all your own work, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a studio here. I'm actually outside on my porch, and I've got the studios right off to my left there, and I do everything in there. So we record all the stuff in there, and then I mix it and produce it. And we had a friend here locally in Raleigh do the mastering, just so I could get another set of ears on it. But for the most part, I do just about everything.
You know, as an engineer, I can't fault this work. You know what I mean? Now, I've got to be honest with you. I listen to music not as a fan would listen to it. I listen to it as an engineer, as a DJ, as a, you know, somebody who's involved in the trade. And, you know, I break it down in its increments and sort of work out how it's done, where it's folded, where it's shaded. Yeah, you know what I mean? And this work is absolutely superb. So I give you a pat on the back. I really do.
I appreciate that. I've been doing it a long time, so, you know, it's just kind of, it's always something to learn,
Oh, believe me, tell me about that. I know about that. Damn computers these days, though.
Yeah.
You know, look.
I'm with you. I go way back. I used to cut tape with a razor blade and splice it together, so.
Hello, been there, done that. You know, I was very friendly with valves as well back in the day, you know. Those were the things, kids, you know, back in the day you had a big radio, about the size of your fridge, you know, with a little screen on it, and, well, it was made, you know, mostly of kind of walnut shell shaped stuff, you know what I mean? It was really, really cool, but it had these huge big glass valves in there. I bet you today, if you found one that works, you'd be able to get a fortune for it. You really might. But yeah, again, I was talking to a guy the other day, and we were talking about the days when we used to get the jug cord, and the kid standing next to him goes, "What's that for? Boiling water?" Yeah, that's right, son. Exactly. Yeah. No, it's like the slipper. They don't have a clue anymore, do they?
No.
Anyway, my friends, tell me about Shine On, because believe me, this was the very first song that I heard. Now, I get no information, literally. I literally hear my bands in the car. Now, there's a reason for that. Barbara gets about 30 bands a day getting in touch with her, wanting to do interviews, wanting to do the whole promo thing, everything like that. And 64 countries right now, 92 cities are tuned in, and well, we've got to welcome everybody, including Osaka again this morning. Nice to have Osaka along. Now, so we get quite a wide coverage around the world, you know what I mean? So it's every band in the world at the moment seems that they want to do these interviews. Having said that, I listen to you in my car for 2 reasons, and basically the first reason is nobody else can influence me on whether I want to do the interview or not. You know, it does have to meet a criteria with the board and everything like that, but they're more worried about our image. Whereas I want to play something that's worthy of playing, something that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I get this little USB thing that I Bluetooth into my car stereo. Now, I've got a kick-ass stereo in my car, I've got to be honest with you. And I go driving. First reason is, again, nobody can influence me, but the second reason is, well, nobody wants to drive with me. They kind of think going sideways is weird.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, we're all from Auckland, our biggest city in New Zealand, but we're right now in the middle of about 4 smaller cities. One is Rotorua, one is Whakatane, and one is Tauranga. Now, we're in a little milling town, maybe about, 4,000 people, 5,000 people?
If you're lucky, we'll be
If we're lucky, yeah, if we trade a dog or two, we might get another couple. Right, okay. But it's a little milling town, and we have a lot of forest around us, if you know what I mean. And, well, I kind of know where they hide the keys for the padlocks. So
Okay.
I go a little off-road and have a little bit of fun with it, and that's the best time to be able to, let's say, listen to the music, concentrate on the music and what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Sets the scene.
Sure.
Now, my first reaction, and believe me, I had to pull the car over, open up the doors, turn up the stereo, and play this again because I absolutely love this track. And literally at the same time, I did crank a cold one and take in the ambience of where I was at the time. So, Shine On was the very first song that I heard. Now, tell me all about it. Why did I like this so much?
Go ahead, Travis.
Oh, I think because it has roots in rock, blues, classic rock and roll, and if anything, from the get of the song, it's trying to move you. It's trying to move you from the beginning to the very end. The energy is there on this track. This was actually the second song that we wrote. The first one we haven't fully produced yet. We wrote a song called Hangovers in Hotel Rooms, which is a little funk, a little jazz, a little rock and roll, but we've never quite polished it up. And I showed up one day at the studio that Mark's sitting outside of, and he was doing drums and he was playing a guitar lick, and I was like, yep, I dig this. And we saw it through to the end, and we moved forward with this track instead of the first one that we wrote together as a band, Mirror Point.
Well, you know something, Travis? Absolutely love that. I really, really do. At the same time, it's very relatable, and I think that was what hooked me in, was the relation to it straight away. I really took to it, and within the first 30 seconds, you know how important it is to be able to relate to something within that.
Right.
Absolutely. This one got me right away.
We did the lyrics before a lot of the problems unrest we've been having here in America the last few months, because we wrote the song last year, and just kind of related on some personal stories and friends and things that I know, and just wanted to do something where the lyrics were positive about, we might all be, the different, but we're really the same. So most of, I got the one line about stuff, we're all stuck in the same BS. We're just humans,
Well, we are too, and at the same time, it is a surreal time right now, especially with this COVID virus thing going on. So we'll talk about that very, very shortly. But right now, live with Mirror Point is Shine On here at Galaxy. How you feeling, guys? You all right?
Good.
Yep.
Nice. I wanted to. Have you guys ever considered maybe once this COVID virus thing is over and done with, would you consider coming down to New Zealand for do a couple of shows?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Nice. And well, maybe we might be able to make another song. Well,
That's actually me and Mark were working on songs today. We sent about 5 tracks to each other because we work remotely a lot of the time. So we're always trying to be creative.
Yeah, definitely.
well, I tell you what, you might want to write a song after this and warn everybody about not being involved with DJs on the internet.
Yeah, that's one of the places I've wanted to go. My wife travels all over the world, and I don't really ever go anywhere. So that's definitely on my list, is to come to New Zealand.
Nice. Well, believe me, bro. Kia ora to both of you. We would love to have you. We really, really would. Let's talk about that because, well, we're a little bit weird down here. We're a little crazy. Are you guys up for a bit of a challenge?
Usually.
Nice. I like this. Yeah. Oh dear. I got an idea over here. Believe me, I'll get more when I say we'll talk about the 5 questions from the 50 Shades of Grant. Believe me,
Oh boy.
that's a bit of humour in its own right. It really is.
Remember bail money.
Yeah, and believe me, if you are going to be considering coming to New Zealand, put away a little bit of bail money just now.
Okay.
Okay, you know. Well, you see, I'm up for shenanigans.
Oh.
And I don't know how it happens, but every time I go out, it seems like I've got a blue uniform or two escorting me to wherever I need to go.
I know you in the Air Force, but the Army and the Special Operations, we're always in for shenanigans.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Do not scare me.
We could get stuck on semantics, but Travis is always up for some antics, so you never know.
I love that. I love that. Let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Excuse me. It is bang on 11:30 and 15 degrees downtown. It's sort of fluctuating around, but have faith, it's going to get to 20 degrees. Believe me, plenty of day to go yet. Really is. It is Friday, September 18th, and I am absolutely elated to be joined by Mirror Point, coming out of North Carolina. They have some good moonshine down that way. They really do.
Yeah. I have it in my room right here. You're just too far away for me to give you a taste.
Oh, don't worry. I have my own.
Right.
And it comes from the Appalachians.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
In the classic hip class too. I'm not sure whether you know of
Hey,
a lady
Matt.
by the name of Michelle Lee.
I'll send you a message
Now,
after this.
She's a 10-time Josie Award winner, absolute legend, and queen of the country
Thanks for
charts
joining
here at
us.
Galaxy. She really is.
Yeah, all right. Well, that sounds familiar. Yep.
Yep, and believe me, she is an absolute gem. Now, we have a special relationship. We love to be able to talk about music and bits and pieces, including a song that she did for Popcorn Sutton's wife. The wife commissioned her to do the song, and she said, Grant, you know, I wasn't happy with it, so I redid it. This year she won her 10th Josie Award with that particular song.
Oh, nice.
So got to congratulate her. So she sent me this, you know, about maybe 6 weeks prior to the Josie Awards, and I said, you know, I'm only going to try this on a special occasion. I wasn't actually expecting this one, but you know, when you've got your 10th, you know, you've got to celebrate that, especially with especially with the Queen of Country Music here at Galaxy. So, and it was under her instruction that, you know, she wanted to see me take this. She just didn't tell me that I needed to put it in the freezer first. And, well, she goes, you know, Grant, and her husband goes off to the freezer and, you know, she says, go to the freezer, go and get me that special stuff that's in there. And, yep, and she goes, Grant, out of this mason jar is what's in your flask. It came straight out of that. So it's out of my personal collection. I went, that's really cool. She goes, have you had it in the freezer? I went, nobody told me to do that. By this stage, I've already poured a nip glass. A shot glass.
Right.
And that's her own personal shot glass as well, by the way. It came as a deal. Anyway, I've poured this, and she hits this mason jar and has a good old, you know, lady swig, as you do. And I'm looking at this, and she goes, have a sip. Seen it's warm, have a sip. I went, looked around, and everybody here, all going, we're Kiwis, we don't sip.
Right.
So I threw this back.
And he went bright.
and went instant neonic. It was bright red. You could turn the lights off. I would glow. Half the
Yeah.
staff almost went home with burns.
Yeah, it's true.
That's some good stuff then.
Michelle's laughing her head off at me. You know what I mean? The rest of the staff, one of them actually wanted to call me an ambulance, but I wouldn't answer to that even if you did call it to me. So, you know what I mean? Basically, to wind this up, I got tore up from the floor up on one of these. And I'm absolutely elated that I was able to have the experience of something that comes out of your backyard, guys. That's absolutely stunning.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, my dad used to run Real Shine way back in the early '50s. He used to have an old Bonneville that was actually hollowed out in the trunk, so they could run the stuff and kind of hide it and all that stuff. He had a souped up Bonneville way back when.
Absolutely. Well, that's where NASCAR came from, really, wasn't it? That kind of culture, wasn't it?
Yep.
Right.
You know, so, here's something about NASCAR, and this is a true story as well. I'm not sure whether you'd be familiar with an artist called Doc Yates, who is a real doctor, by the way, and his band. Now, his drummer was actually at a NASCAR race, and sitting next to a couple of Australians. And he introduced himself, and they introduced themselves, and he goes, "Oh, I'm in the band Doc Yates." And this woman says, "Oh, yeah, we know about Doc Yates." And he goes, "Seriously, do you?" And she goes, "Yeah, we listen to Galaxy107 FM in New Zealand."
Awesome.
True story, which is amazing because I usually give Australians a bit of stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like Americans and Canadians in an ice hockey thing, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah, for us,
You got a little something going back and forth there.
exactly, it's a rugby union thing for us. And well, we got the former world champs at the moment, I got to admit, and that's only because Mother Nature didn't like us on the day. She sent a typhoon into Japan where it was being held, and we came down to points, and unfortunately South Africa got it, but Australia didn't.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Always root against Canada, right?
Yeah, well, you know, damned Australians. 30 years now they haven't had any silverware in their cupboard, but they've had a duster in there every now and again getting it ready.
I don't think I've ever heard that, getting your silverware ready.
Yeah, well, you know, getting ready for some silverware, you know, there's no harm in dreaming, is there? And the Wallabies, I mean, hey. I don't even know how the heck to describe those guys. So we'll move on. I don't want to give Australians too much credit. I really don't. You know, they don't even know how to spell bear. They've got a bear there with 4 X's on it. It's true. You know, I've actually had an Australian ring me up and say, "Hey, listen, you give us a bit of stick. We do know how to spell beer." I went, "Really? Spell it." He goes, B-E-A-R, beer. Bonza, sweet as. Now, while the last song, and we were talking about Shine On, while the last song Shine On was playing, I just mentioned to Travis and to Mark about maybe once this COVID thing is over and done with, they would like to come down to New Zealand, visit us here in the Antipodes, play maybe, you know, I'm thinking maybe about 5 songs here, well, 5 shows here, and maybe about 8 in Australia, because it would make it, you know, more worthwhile. In fact, we like the Australian money, we do, so we'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, guys, while you're here, you see we have a few crazy conditions that we kind of put our bands through. It's challenges mostly, but they are things that we do, and we'll probably send you some instructional videos to show you. I'm not pulling your leg,
Okay.
but have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Matters.
Of a what?
Hoo-hoo grub. Now, I like the American version of hoo-hoo, really. But no, this is, well, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is caterpillar on steroids. It's like a double-decker bus to a mini. It's big, it's white, it's got a black head. But rip off the head, don't eat the head because it's yucky. But when you crunch down on the live body of this bug, it tastes like creamy peanut butter.
Really?
Huh.
I'll let Travis try that and check it out.
Well, we have a place. You see, New Zealand is made up of 3 islands. Right down the bottom is a little island called Stewart Island. Then whoever named New Zealand after that run out of imagination and called the next one South. And then we got North, if you know what I mean. North,
Right.
yeah. So really original. I actually like to rename things. I really do, and we'll discuss that down the track. But you know, down the South Island, on the west coast of the South Island, is a place called Hokitika that has a wild foods festival. Now, you know, down there, they kind of deep fry things that really shouldn't be deep fried, to be honest with you.
Sounds like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what it's like at most fairs, kids running around with candy floss and hot dogs on a stick, and yeah, not there. No, you might find kids wandering around with a deep fried locust on a stick or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Far more entertaining to watch, actually.
Yeah.
It really is. But yes, we have a thing called the hoo-hoo grub, and well, you got to wonder about the guy that's handing you a bowl of these wiggly white live things and expecting you to eat one. You really got to wonder about what sort of mentality is this guy. Now, the indigenous folks of New Zealand, the Maori, actually still have them as a delicacy. So, true deal. And besides the mentality of the guy handing them to you, well, you make up your own mind when you meet me. Okay?
There you go.
Besides that, I've been down to the Wild Foods Festivals now for a number of years. I know the people who throw this and all the management, everything like that. They seem to think I'm joking when I keep saying to them, why don't you put up a stand where you can dip women in chocolate? Hey, all day eating.
Where you can dip women in chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, never heard of that.
Little James Bond kind of thing. Instead of gold, we'll go with chocolate.
yeah, we'll go with all day eating.
Good point. He
That
got
sounds
it.
more like a Ron Jeremy
got
type
it.
of thing than James Bond.
Yeah, well, actually, I've met Ron Jeremy. I know him. And would you believe he actually left LA to come here?
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't like living in California, does he?
No,
Well, he's got some issues now.
Yeah, I think he does, actually, to be quite honest with you. Maybe even legal issues too. Better not do it. Anyway, have you ever heard of a place called Queenstown?
I think I have.
Yeah, not Queensland that you'll find in
Right.
Australia. That's where men wear dresses, right? Okay.
Gotcha.
Queenstown is a little boutique town come city, and believe me, hell of a challenge just to get in there by plane. It really is. The turbulence in there is fantastic. It really is. Enjoy it every time. White knuckle ride. It really, really is fun. And in fact, the last time I was flying in there, I had a guy next to me and looking out the window, and he was just grabbing his seat like crazy. He goes, "Do you think we'll crash?" I went, "Don't worry, we'll go straight to the scene of the crime. Don't worry about it. We won't get out of it alive." Anyway, down in Queenstown, and believe me, it's a little boutique place where all the A-listers from around the world go and hide away from their wives, their best friends, everything like that. Take their mates. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay.
So you never know who you're going to bump into when our borders open up again. But Shania Twain, for instance, owns property down there. Kevin Costner was down there not so long ago. Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise. You know the kind of A-listers that
Yeah,
go there.
that's money right there.
But you don't want to run into me.
No.
No, I'll throw you off a bridge.
You might.
I think I've done that before.
Yeah, bungee jumping.
No, just being stupid and drunk.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I actually have the guy who invented the sport. Literally, he came back from Africa and watched these Maasai people jumping off a tower with vines to prove their manhood, and he converted it into bungee jumping. And, well, you're not Australian, so we'll attach the bungee, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Boom. Anyway, at the same time, I know that you know Lord of the Rings. Now, about an hour and a half away from where our office is right here is the original set of Hobbiton. And we'll go and have a peruse through that. Well, the staff will have to take you for a wander through there because the security know me. Unfortunately,
okay.
yeah. This
You get a
again.
little crazy in the Shire, did you?
Well, you know, those hobbit holes are quite fun when you really think about it. I didn't know they actually meant buildings when they said hobbit holes, but well,
You did a little Bilbo Shaggins down there.
yeah, kind of did actually. Yeah, just Bigfoots and orcs and all sorts of things were going on. You know,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. It really was. Anyway,
You saw that,
I've
I didn't.
been politely asked
Did
not
you
to
see
come
that?
back for the next, I don't know, 150 years apparently.
Right. Well, just put on a little ring and a magic cloak. We'll sneak you in there.
There you go. Absolutely. Now, at the same time, have you guys ever heard of a Zorb?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is fun. More alcohol involved, and believe me, you're going to love this one. A big, round, see-through plastic ball that we put you in and roll you down a hill.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, the fun bit about it as well is we'll put some runners in front of you so that, you know, when you run over them, as the alcohol sets in, the looks on their faces is priceless, really. It is. Again, we'll send you. We'll make sure you get some instructional videos to see that I'm not pulling your leg. It is quite fun. It really is. But you never know. You might have a little more liquid in there than when you first got in, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
don't worry about that. We got a new invention here in New Zealand called the hose.
When I was a jump master in the Army, I would stand by the door and I would have what's called a stick of about 34 people have to jump out of my door. And the faces that they would have as they jumped out of the door and the fluids that would be coming out of them were pretty unique as well.
I've seen that myself. I have. Well, you know, to be quite honest with you, when I first started in the Air Force, I think I was that myself, to be very honest with you. I really was. These days, I can't wait. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
But, you know, when you're first learning, yep, fluids can be easily departed with. They really can.
A little scary.
But now, tell me about Two Black Cadillacs, because this intrigues me. Are we talking a bit of CIA, FBI, national security?
I'll let Mark explain this one. This is his baby.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of surprising that you guys are playing that. That's not our song. That's a song by a country artist, Carrie Underwood, and we just did a cover version of it. Just picked a totally random song that I'd never listened to or knew. I asked, just asked a group of people to give me a suggestion. They tossed that one out and said, do a cover version of it. And I said, okay. So I listened to it one time just to kind of get the gist of it. And then, came up with a version and threw it down and just kind of rolled with it.
Well, you know, Mark, I've got to be honest with you. We've gone over 1,300 requests since we've been playing it. So it's starting to get a bit of a follow. It's starting to get a flow right there. So right now, here at Galaxy 107 FM, live with Mirror Point themselves, is Two Black Cadillacs.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me, bro. You guys are getting quite a following here. We play you on a number of shows too, by the way.
So you guys are able to play somebody else's material. You guys don't. I mean, I'm assuming you have. There's no issues, I guess.
No, we got it all covered, bro. Besides, we got some damn good lawyers. They have to look after me.
Oh, nice.
Hello.
It was just a whim to do that it was just a cover song whim, just to kind of to do one. A lot of times people, if they're not sure about original music, sometimes if you do a song that they like and they like your version of it, they're more than likely to check out some of your own stuff. And so I did kind of a rockin' version of this country song.
Well, you know something? As I said, over 1,300 requests so far. And,
That's all. Wow.
I love it, I really do. And as I said,
That's awesome.
It's relating to our audience, you know what I mean? So, and as I said, we play you in a number of shows as well. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Really.
Oh, believe me, I'm absolutely in awe of what you do. I really, really am. I love your work. I do. And as I said, I've played with so many bands over the years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every now and again you find one you absolutely love. You know what I mean?
Amazing this
All
week.
you can do, you know, that's
Tell 'em.
kind of the whole point. I mean, we're getting long in the tooth as well, but it's like, you know what, I've been playing music as long as I've been around on the planet, so it's like I'm not going to stop just because I'm aging. You know, maybe musical tastes and times change, but you can still do what you do, and if you love it and you put some passion behind it, you'll find an audience eventually.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Absolutely. At the same time, I know what you mean by a bit long in the tooth. I'm only 21.
You've lived hard, my friend. Lived
Oh,
hard.
this is what radio does for me. I got the perfect face for radio, right?
Hey, I do radio as well. I'm with you. I host shows all the time.
Nice. Oh, now you tell me. Now I'm going to be apprehensive. You hear that?
What sort of shows?
Yeah, you have me on anytime you want. I host a bunch of boring financial radio, so nothing too exciting.
Oh, yeah. Phew, we'll miss that. We don't do boring or financial. But having
it's fun
said,
to sit in and hang out with you. So
we are at the moment. Put that back up there before I get tempted. We are at the moment heading into a national election for our Prime
Let's
Minister. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I feel sorry for you guys. I do. But no matter which way it works out, we're going to end up with a female Prime Minister. We have one called Jacinda Ardern, who we love right now. She's done really, really well through this COVID. She had an earthquake in her term, and she's had a volcano blow up as well. You know what I mean? And she's just surpassed excellence across the board. And then we have her opposition leader, which is Judith Collins, or Jo Cole, as we like to call her, the Dragon Lady. Yeah, well, believe me, she's a whole heap of fun as well.
She might kick a few butts.
Just in a couple of days, we're actually going to be talking to one of the opposition members of Parliament that wants our vote.
Next
And,
Wednesday.
well,
Very cool.
I like to have fun with these people. I do. Let's go back to the desk.
Oh, can't see him now. Above the yeah. Oh, there we go. Mozzie's the bottom.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is 9 away from 12 o'clock, 16 degrees, kind of worried about that. We need to just give it a bit of a pump to get past that hump, otherwise the weatherman for once is going to be right, and that never happens, so we don't want to see it at all, really. I'm saying 20 degrees today. It is Friday, coming into a new weekend, September 18th, and just found out that one of the people that I'm interviewing right now is a radio announcer of his own right, which now makes me rather apprehensive, actually. I hope I do a good job now. Geez, I better sit up. Yep, make myself look pretty. Mirror Point is a rock and roll based duo based in Sanford, North Carolina, consisting of Mark Cullen and Travis Jones. Now, they were both raised on rock and roll and have blended blues, soul, rhythm and blues, country, pop and rock into a flow of rhythmic songs from the vantage point of live seasoned by musicians who just want to chase their dreams regardless of age. Yeah, music has no age, does it?
no.
No, it doesn't.
You know, unfortunately, it has a thing called ability, though, and, well, you know, if you ever want me to sing anything for you, I don't have that ability. Well, actually, I sing tenor. Or maybe 12 miles away from anybody that can hear me.
Right. When you're out on one of those trips in your Jeep outside of the Avatar thing, opening up the windows, listening to Mirror Point, that sounds like a good time to sing.
Well, it does, but even the wildlife sort of, yeah, let me know about that as well, you know what I mean? Yeah.
All the insects.
It's amazing where the birds come from at the time.
Oh, insects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, flocking good time they have too.
Flocking.
Flocking good time, I love that one. I haven't used that one for a long time. Now, guys, shall we do the 5 questions?
No,
from
no,
no, yeah.
No, you can't. No. You
So we're
can't.
going to do the 5 questions from the 50 Shades of Graham. And we were just talking very, very briefly about here in New Zealand, we're actually going through a referendum and an election. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you see, we kind of put politicians in the position they're in to make the hard decisions. Don't you guys? Yeah, well, we do actually. We want them to be able to make the laws, make the decisions and follow through with them. But having said that, when they can't do it, the first thing they do is they throw it back to us. Should we be paying them for that? Do we get paid for that?
Never.
No, we don't. But truly, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the little orange man. Now, the little orange man here in New Zealand indicates that we've got an election coming up.
Nice. Okay.
No, I didn't. I'm unfamiliar with the little orange man.
Yeah, that's our political man, just to remind us, you have an election coming. That little PC kind of guy. I've always wondered what he would taste like. You know what I mean?
Tastes like a
7 Up
banana.
mixed with gingerbread.
Yeah, but it kind of does, really, doesn't it?
He matches
But-
his
We
pink
want
and
several marshmallow
stick
peeps.
man.
So, keeping that in mind, now, I don't know, are you familiar with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got in not so long ago, and of course you are familiar with Jacinda Ardern, who is our Prime Minister. Are you familiar with Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany?
Yeah.
A little, yeah.
And then you guys have Donald Trump, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's not all we have. We have more than anything to do with the old man.
He got his
bad,
wig
but,
as well.
Yeah, we have Donald Trump.
Yeah, so who's the odd one out?
That's a tough one. Because Boris is Donald Jr., like he's Don Light, so.
Yeah, could you imagine them standing together side by side in the wind?
Wallace and Dawn.
Right.
That would be fun, actually, it really would.
Holding that down.
But I think Donald Trump is the odd one out, only because he's the colour of his almost impeachment.
You froze up.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, you're good. I'm pleased you didn't hear that then, that's fine. That's cool. Even Travis didn't respond to that one. I like that. It was well-timed froze. Yeah. Maybe the NSA's watching and they say, okay, you can't answer that one, we're going to freeze you up.
Hey, they might have. I'm pretty sure that they have those technologies.
Yeah, believe me, if they know me, those technologies are in play almost all the time, Billy. I like to talk.
7-second radio delay, right?
Yeah, exactly. That usually takes about 3 minutes. Yeah, NASA are involved. Apparently, we have to bounce our signal off satellites, which brings now NASA into it as well. You know what I mean? So they even have that delay as well. And well, I might say I've seen an alien or I've seen a spaceship or something like that, and before you know it, we're terminated altogether. Connection.
Might be terminated or probed, one of the two. I don't know which one would be worse.
Oh, probed would be worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging out, just watching us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, actually, Venus, they found life on Venus just recently.
yeah.
Yeah. I just wondered if it was a relationship to maybe Donald Trump.
Well, with the way the world's gone this year, I'm sure they're just driving by, rolling up their windows. Nobody wants to stop at this planet.
No, well, yeah. Donald Trump, of course, you know that he's now commissioned the Space Force, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now his next brilliant plan actually was to go and harvest some plasma from the sun. Problem is, he reckons you can only go there at night.
Right.
Yeah, over here, those jokes are on a different person, so it's interesting to see him on. He's on one of our senators over here.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't happen to be Biden or anything like that, would it?
No, it's
California, I think.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I feel good for him. because we're leaving him alone. Now, having said that, are you familiar with James Bond?
Oh, of course.
Okay, you know, Daniel Craig now has just completed his very, very last term as James Bond, but he broke his ankle halfway through the filming of it, 12 weeks off, literally. Now, that's a long time in the filming industry if you've got everybody that you got to pay for, you know what I mean? And, well, the management kind of got together with the franchise owners, all that sort of stuff, and had a big meeting. They decided that they want to make the next James Bond a woman. Yeah, the internet blew up. It really, really did. They said, no way can you do that. I mean, Moneypenny, yeah, sure, but Ian Fleming wrote James Bond as a man. Leave him as a man. So now they've compromised.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's quite a bit of controversy in the U.S. Army about, you know, the equality and things like that. And about 7 years ago, we started introducing women into the infantry, ranger qualification courses, even special forces and special operations. And I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some women who were pretty James Bondish and do some pretty James Bondish stuff. So it's not unrealistic for me to put that in that role just because of gender, because I've seen it in real life.
Well, you're gonna love it when you come here.
Because he was blonde, so I mean, you know, times change, things change. I mean, he did a great job, and they didn't want him at first just because he had blonde hair. So,
Well, you know, Travis, you're gonna love it when you come here because all of our women are like that anyway.
Right.
You know, believe me, they'll cut down a tree and literally change your tyre at a moment's notice. They're good at it too. But yet they compromise. Now James Bond is going to be gay.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know what they're going to call him?
Oh no.
U7. Kind of makes you wonder about what he's going to do with his Walter PPK, right?
I guess that's better than James Bondage.
Yeah, well, you know, or even Jane Bondage. Actually, I'd pay to go and see that movie. Yeah, well, now, as I was saying, here in New Zealand, we're about to go to the election, 17th of October, which is just down the road now. And I showed you our little orange man, who reminds us that one's coming up. Now, we have a couple of referendums I was telling you about, and believe me, and you'll get a copy of this video as well, guys, to which, you know, I don't know whether you want to watch it again or not. I wouldn't blame you if you binned it straight away. Because, but, you know, I had one of these people who I did an interview with, he actually ended up watching it about 9 times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But admittedly, he needed therapy afterwards, but still, he did. I've got to be honest with you. Now, the first question in the referendum that we have here literally is cannabis legalization and control referendum. I'll show you that.
All right.
Okay.
Give me your take, guys. What do you reckon? Should we make marijuana legal here in New Zealand? What do you think?
Should do it there. Do it here.
Should do it everywhere.
I agree. Absolutely agree. I really, really do. At the same time, stats came out just a couple of days ago that the government stands to make about $1 billion in tax in the first year.
Absolutely.
Not bad.
And they say for policing and jailing and lawyer and legal fees, it's ridiculous.
It is. It is. And, well, you know, at the same time, that means that now we're going to have a lack of judges, which always suits me.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine a judge standing at the unemployment line? Yeah, I could actually. I would like to see that. In fact, I would take photos just for the hell of it. I really would. Now, the second one, and I'm going to show you this one.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, this one is quite a hard one. The end-of-life choice referendum. Now, I got to be honest with you. In the right premise, I'm all for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, let's be considerate here. We try to be humane with our animals when the time comes. You know what I mean?
Right.
As I say, in the right premise. I think we should implement this for the sake of those who are suffering. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had a guy here in Michigan a number of years ago called Dr. Kevorkian who was doing that. He went through a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah,
But,
he had a wonderful
in the
van.
right circumstances, you make a great point. I mean, we don't want to see our animals suffer. Why do we let our loved ones suffer?
Exactly. Now, at the same time, talking about Kevorkian, didn't Zach Bailings end up with his van or something in Vegas?
I don't know.
I don't think he made it out of jail.
No, I'm talking about. Are you familiar with ghost adventures on the internet?
Oh no.
No, guy called Zach Bailings. He actually ended up with Kevorkian's van, and now, now it's a museum piece. He wanted to preserve it for the posterity of what it was, and believe me,
Right.
the number of people passed away in the back of that van, didn't they?
I
did.
Yeah.
And, there was a bunch of family members that reached out and supported him at his trial. So if you're talking about somebody who's idealistically trying to fight the opposition versus someone who's realistically trying to fight for that person's right, I mean, that should give you some sort of weight of how that argument should sway.
Exactly. So believe me, I'm, as I said, all for the end of life choice referendum. I think that we should pass that one. But personally, guys, I want to pass away much like my grandfather did, in his sleep, unlike the passengers in his car at the time.
Right.
You got dad jokes, man.
I do. Believe me, I really do, actually. Believe me. But you don't need to push play with me. But maybe with Miracle. Good segue. Tell me all about Just Push Play.
I guess I can take it. So, same kind of premise a little bit. So, since we had the song about was this about maybe getting involved with a past relationship and maybe you shouldn't, that probably would only happen if you weren't, so happy at home. And a lot of times we just get so busy with life, especially once you start, you get married, you have kids, and all that stuff changes. And if you've been with somebody a long time, like Travis has been with his wife for a really long time, you can kind of say, hey, let's kind of go back to when we were, 18, 19 and just having fun and not thinking about all the stuff life throws at us. And so that was kind of the genesis of the song, was to say, hey, let's jump in the old hot rod, fire it up, ride down the road with the music blasting and just have a good time, maybe go, back to the beach and just, no kids, no bills, no BS, let's just go be us.
I love that. I really, really do. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM with Mirror Point Live and Peter Rickon. Tell me about Peter Rickon.
Peter's the guy I used to work with. He's a friend of mine, and we used to work together at an office building. And one day he was telling me he did, even though he was rapping, and I was like, well, he doesn't look like the type at all. I guess that's part of the thing, right? Never judge a book by its cover. And so we had this middle section of the song, and we had no idea what to do with it. I couldn't come up with a guitar solo. We couldn't come up with anything we really liked. And I said, hey, let's just see if he wants to throw some lines down on it. And he nailed it.
Nice. So right here at Galaxy, here is Mirror Point featuring Peter Rickon and Just Push Play. How you feeling, guys? You alright?
Good.
Nice. Travis, Cajun born. I love Cajun food. Been there a number of times. I love crawfish and I love a bit of gumbo. Do you still partake a lot?
Oh yeah, I'm this close. I have a garden, brew my own beer. I have 36 chickens in my backyard. I'm this close to starting a crawdad farm in my backyard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get your address. I'll be over in no time. Barbara, she's the farmer here. She's got a farm at her place. She had a couple of cows and bits and pieces, but she just won't let me ride the sheep.
No.
No sheep riding, huh?
No.
No, and we've got lambs at the
I
moment.
even promised to get a special saddle made up for it, but no, she won't hear of it.
No.
Yet again, you see, she asked me to look after her sheep one day. I'm no good at sheeping. I'm really not. I lost one.
Are you sheepish?
No, I'm not sheepish, but I tell you what, I found it about 3 weeks later in a bordello.
Oh.
Yeah, it had a couple of $100 notes and a phone number stapled to it.
A wig and some lipstick on?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know what we call that? We call that an Afghanistan date.
Well, we kind of called it an Australian hooker up in Queens. Oh dear, oh dear. Am I giving you guys a bit of stick today?
You've got Matt online.
Matt's online.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Hello, Matt. Nice to have you online, Matt.
Came back
God,
to
it's
see what you're up to today. See
Oh.
what shenanigans you're up to.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Matt, you're a sucker for punishment. You really are. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Gosh, it's hot, Barbara.
Oh, not
I-
really.
It's 14 degrees
It's
outside.
just you.
Yeah, it's hot in here.
Yeah, it's you.
All these computers
Yeah.
running.
You're the closest to them.
I am,
Mm.
actually. And I tell you what, it's going to get hotter. Really is. Because we're putting in all these
Oh.
monitors. Let's go back to the desk.
As long as there's no sleeping with them on.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is 10 after 12 o'clock, 14 degrees. It's going down. I'm a little worried about that. Friday, September 18th. Now, Mark joining us out of the band Mirror Point, Mark and Travis. Now, Mark, tell us about the tour. But you've been involved in the music industry since you were a nipper, really, haven't you?
Yeah, my mom was a country singer when I was born back in the 70s and in the early 80s. So I kind of grew up on her tour bus, and they started teaching me how to play drums when I was really little. And so I've just kind of always been around it.
Absolutely stunning. That, to me, is the perfect way to be brought up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with tour buses and in the back of vans and slapped on speaker cabinets and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I try not to slap on speaker cabinets. I usually turn them on instead. But now, Travis, tell us a little bit about your musical career. How did you first start playing music? How did you guys meet? And who's the most dominant when it comes to writing music?
So, my music career started not quite as early as Mark's. I was in my teens, probably 12, 13. Played in some garage bands and did some talent shows, did some gigs, but then I joined the Army and I had kids. So I kind of put everything on hold, and I would play periodically with different people. And then right around when I retired, I met Mark. And I met Mark in a band I was playing with. He showed up auditioning as the singer. And he passed on the band. He didn't, I understand why, because I ended up quitting that band about a year after he auditioned. But I had another band in my town that was about an hour or two away from where he auditioned. And he showed up playing drums. And I was like, hey, I know this guy. I met him a year ago playing at this other band. And these guys kind of were doing the same thing, and he kind of passed on that band. And then it turned into, well, let me get your phone number, and we'll hang out. And that's kind of how Mirror Point started. And this is my brother,
That's really cool. What's the name of the young one there?
Penelope.
Penelope. Nice to meet you, Penelope. Sorry if you can't understand our language. We're Kiwis.
Yeah. Are they Kiwis, baby?
Yeah, and believe me, Mark, we'll make sure both you and Travis get a copy of everything we do today, including some crazy photos afterwards. You can put them on your phone
You asked the one question there as well that Travis didn't get to. You asked who's probably the most dominant when it comes to the writing. Travis is a badass, and he's definitely my hero. But I'm a bit of a bear in the studio, so a lot of times I guess I probably lead the charge in that respect. Just because it's just what I know. Like, I'm not good at much in life, but I know what I'm good at, so I put the hammer down on that usually.
He does. He spends a lot of time, looking at every millisecond of whatever we recorded and saying, I think I can add something. I think I can layer something. I think I can change something. Even the first song that we wrote together that we've never fully produced, he still has it, and he still has layers on it. It's like, I'm just not quite there yet.
That's a consummate professional as far as an engineer goes, though.
Yeah, and it's good to have somebody who will help you just kind of say, okay, at some point, you got to let it go. Because if it's just me and my druthers, I'll just sit on it in the box forever. So occasionally, it's good to have him kind of remind me, all right, come on, man, it's good, let it go,
Believe me, I know exactly what you're going through, bro. I do the same myself, I really do. So, sympathies, but absolutely fun to do, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, we just were messaging today. I probably played anything in probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and I came up with some stuff today, and I said, why do I let myself go through these dry spells? Because I'm just infinitely happier when I'm making something.
All right.
Believe me.
And I don't know if you saw our COVID-19 cover song. I know that the Two Black Cadillacs is pretty popular there, but we wrote a COVID-19 song and did a video, and it was something that we were supposed to wrap up in like 10 days from start to finish, and about 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, he's still messing with it. I'm like, all right, it's just it was something fun, just let it go. It's good.
Well, we thought it would be over anyway.
Right, well, we thought it would be over.
Travis, I understand. Mark, I fully understand. I really do. Fino Barbadol, tell me about this.
Well, you just kind of said it with the phenobarbital, right? It's it's drugs, right? So my wife, actually in January of 19, Travis and I had just started working together. I think in December of 18, maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, she had a really big health scare that kind of came out of the blue. And so we got through all of that, and it was pretty touch and go. I had almost died years ago. I had heart surgery. Then she almost passed away on me. Long story short, we went for some follow-up stuff, and I was sitting in the waiting room waiting on her to have some things done, and you can't go back there and yada yada. And I was watching all these people on their cell phones take in the doctor's office, taking selfies and things of that nature. And just kind of, they've got a loved one there going through something, and they're kind of goofing off on the phone. And I get it, it's boring or whatever. And I watch the commercials for the drugs going by left and right on the doctor's screen. Take this, take that, side effects are this, side effects are that. And I just thought about it, and I thought, well, it'd be interesting to do a song about the addiction that we have to social media and the vanity, the drug of vanity, and how we are just addicted to putting our stuff online, whether it's our pictures or whatever the case is. So I just tried to merge the two ideas a little bit, and I got the idea for I'm sure it's been used before, but the song title, Marilyn Manson had a song years ago in which he says something about a Barbie doll in a song, and I just thought that was an interesting way to look at it, but I thought about it from a phenobarbital and just kind of merged it. And it's not just against women by any means. Guys do it too. Humans in general, we're just addicted to this social media thing, and sometimes it can be pretty bad.
Mark, do you sleep with your phone?
I don't.
I bet your wife does.
She falls asleep with it on her, on her chest. Sometimes she'll be holding it and go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, you're right here at Galaxy. Here's Mirror Point and Fino, Barbie doll.
This is where the money's at.
Oh dear, I love this track, I really do, but I tell you what, you're almost at 2,000 requests at the moment for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's right up there. I'm finding that I'm having to play it in the breakfast show more and more and more. And my breakfast show is literally put together by the stats and by the requests that come in.
Awesome.
And that,
Very cool. Thank you very much.
and that works through the reception, through their computers, through to production, through their computers. They put it all together. I get the breakfast show as it's prepared. You know what I mean?
Right.
And wow, up around about 2,000 now, just a shy of it. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Hello.
Now, you got a little furry one there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, she's not so little, to be honest with you. We have two of them. We
What are you
have
doing?
the guard dogs, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
They guard football.
Here I am.
yeah, believe me, they guard pretty much everything. Come here, come here. There we go.
Wow, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
The other
Yeah.
one's bigger.
Yeah, the other one's bigger.
Say
Hey.
hello to everyone on Facebook. Casey, hello everyone on Facebook. Mwah. I'll eat you up when you
Okay.
come here.
Off the deck. Thank you. Thank you. But they're well trained. You know what I mean?
Hello.
We had one person one day at one stage, because we have the council do our lawns and everything like that. We're in a courtway. You know what I mean? So the council
Yeah.
do the lawns and everything. And one day I had the local mayor, who is the butcher, give me a bone for one of the dogs. So the dog's out there chewing this bone in the courtway. And this young kid comes along and goes, "Wow, that's a big dog." And I says, "Be careful about going any further." And he goes, "Why?" I says, "Well, you see what it's chewing on? That was the postman."
That's what happened.
Oh no, you can't bark.
Yeah.
She's playing.
She wants to play. Yes. Let me go back to the desk.
Yeah, chop
And
chop.
we'll roll this up.
Is that your proper duty? Is that your proper duty?
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 21 after 12 o'clock lunchtime. Time to go and get yourself a cold one before you have to go back to work. 14 degrees downtown. Pubs across the road, by the way. Friday, September 18th, and joined live by both Mark and Travis from the band Mirror Point. And guys, absolute pleasure to have you guys join us. Now, while this COVID virus thing's going on, I presume that there's not a lot of shows going down. Are you writing more? Are you recording more right now?
Yeah. We matter of fact, we were just doing that some today. We'll probably do some tomorrow. I think we've got 7 or 8 in the can. Well, their music's done. I still have to sing them, but and then we've got a few more that we're going to work up. But we went ahead and decided, since we put out this album, Shine, that you've been playing in January of 2020, it's going to release the next one in January of 2021.
Nice. Now, I'm going to ask you basically, will you come back again? Will you release some music with us as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we, like I said, Mark and I, when you asked how we met, we actually played in a cover band for about a year and a half together before we just kind of like realized we didn't want to play till 2 or 3 in the morning. In the first album, we kind of felt each other out, got into our process, and you know, I don't know that I've ever been connected with a musician on the level that me and Mark connect. Like everyone's always has their hang-ups, you know, he's the lead singer syndrome, lead guitar syndrome, drummer thing. I'm not going to play that. Mark and I, yeah, roll it all up in one. But we, no matter what he throws at me or what I throw at him, like, well, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a roll. And this second album, I mean, there's some stuff that Mark sent me that's, it's got African shakers, timbalas. I mean, it just goes from one extreme to the other, and we're super excited about it. and hopefully that will all be done in January 2021.
Well, you know something, Travis? When you guys come and play here in New Zealand, maybe we can get together and have a little play as well. I'm an accomplished triangle player.
Right, me too. What out Bubba Chicken Coop?
Yeah, and
Triangle.
believe me, I always think there's room for cowbell as well.
Well, we might call this new record the kitchen sink. We haven't decided yet because we're throwing everything at it. I think we have 21 different instruments on the various songs so far.
Really?
Well, it's better the kitchen sink than the head. To be honest with you, it really, really is. Having said that, coming on back, we would love to have you back again. You're part of the Galaxy family now. Don't know whether to congratulate you or feel sorry, actually, but it'd be an absolute honour to have you come back again, release new music, maybe at the same time, and believe me, I would love to be able to do this as well. If you send me maybe a few t-shirts and some CDs, we could do some giveaways and keep your name, Mirror Point, rolling here at Galaxy, because believe me, the more times you play, the more times we mention your name, the more people know about it. You know what I mean?
We'll send you some right away. We've got some CDs we can send you already. So
Nice. I tell you what, throw one extra in there that I can wear while I'm doing interviews, and today I'm wearing Cyrus. Love Cyrus, we really do.
Little band
You'd be
from
surprised
Texas.
how people actually cotton on and go and have a look at who the band is and where they come from, everything about them, from,
Right.
you know, just these weird and wonderful little interviews that we do here at Galaxy. And, well, Cyrus, absolutely love this band. Go and check them out. If you're into a little bit of harder music, check it out. You'll love them. You really will. Guys, I got to move on right now, but don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to do a couple of crazy photos and a little bit of a video. Now, the reason why we do the video is, well, with the amount of traffic that we have coming through our website, they don't just live stream us. They don't just go onto the links and live stream. They get a bit nosy and go and have a look through your pages. You know, sometimes I feel very oogled, would be the word. You know what I mean? But we do a shout out thing that we put on the front page, save people travelling too far, go and have a look at who's on there, and before you know it, you got another 5,000 Instagram fans, and I won't apologise.
no, that's great.
And at the same time,
Love to say hi to you.
and at the same time, you might have sold a couple of koozies or something. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Anyway, hang in there, guys. But in the meantime, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, switching over to the other channel. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Click, clap, Snapchat, this is where the money's at. No filter and no shame. Wham, bam, Instagram, price to pay for being glam. Addiction is a part of the game. TikTok, get back on the clock, spreading like vines all of the time. Vanity flows through your veins. Take one, take two, this is all you wanna do. Then 3, 4, push it just a little more. Mirror, mirror, oh, who's got it perfect, who's got it all? Just mind the gap before you take it a fall. You're just another vein of Barbie doll. Profile update, self-important reprobate. Such a pretty image and such a pretty face, but you got a viral SMD, it's a social media disease. Hashtag so sad, checkmate. Snap 5, now 6, self-important, ego fix 7 and 8. Look at me, I'm really great. Mirror, mirror.